Welcome, welcome. Let's just begin with a drink. Why not? Hello, D0NZ331. Welcome. Can you hear me? Here's the first one. Hey, Ethan J. Lord. Welcome, welcome. Raymond 33,000. It's good to see you here. Arnoldson 10. Alessandro Ruggero, very nice. Hey, Andrew, there you go. Jack Zucchini Panini, that's such a great name. Yes, you can hear me. That's fantastic. Good day. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Patrick, thank you. Elijah, hey, that's the man. Yeah, my dad is from you said your dad is Northern Italian. What part? My dad is from Friuli. That's the name of the region. It's in the northeast of Italy. And he's specifically from the town of Udine. It's interesting that he's from Friuli because that's exactly where Fiore dei Liberi is from. You know, the great sword master that we all know. So in a way, I've got a little bit of that in my blood. 50%, should we say. So great to have you all. Hello, hello. It's good to have you here. Hello, Slug. Hello, Rain. We've got Rain itself. And Mark. Hey, Metatron, hope you're doing well. Been a fun since before 10K. Hey, that's great. I remember the 10,000 special was me on a horse. And I was wearing a male shirt. I was wearing male chausses, so like the legs. And I was wearing like a Templar um, garment, but it wasn't very historically accurate. But it was, many, many years ago, anyways. I think. I mean, how many years ago is that? I don't know, but good to have you here. Welcome, everyone. We've got 100 people. Hey, we just reached 100 people. Let's see if we can get to 150. Yeah, that would be great. So, getting a lot of messages already, which I always appreciate, of course. Welcome, welcome. We're going to have some fun today. Lots of things to talk about, of course. Hello from Sweden, says SPQR. I appreciate your name, as you imagine. I imagine you know. Hello, hello. We're going to have a good time. Lots of things to talk about. Good question already from Abstract Digital Recordings. Metatron, how come we haven't seen a video on Musashi so far? It's true, yeah. I used to make those videos dedicated to the scrolls. So I did the wind scroll, I did the water scroll, and I had other planned. Like I wanted to make the fire scroll, I wanted to make the, lots of different things. And for the fire scroll, I was thinking of going to freaking Mount Etna, which is an actual active volcano here in Sicily, because I'm a little nuts. The reason why I stopped that series is because it literally wasn't getting any views. I mean, yeah, the core audience was watching, absolutely. But at the time, those videos cost me quite a bit of money to produce because I needed my full team and 2, 3 cars to go there. But, we'll see. We'll see. I might try. I do want to make some good videos on the eastern side of Sicily anyways. I've been planning on those. So when I go there, I might as well bring my samurai armor and see what we can do. That way, it would be good. I could do it with Patreon money. Whenever there is Patreon money, I can do a video, even if it doesn't get the views because it's supported. And so there is all that. I've got a little bit of a panino left here, if you don't mind. Oh, that's a good question. Metatron, which one do you like more, Sparta or Athens? Asks Leonidas of Sparta. Well, I can tell which one you like more. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm a big Athena, Athena. Actually, I think they say in Greek, Athens fan. That's my favorite city. In fact, when I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you know how you can choose if you want to basically ally with Athens or with Sparta, and I allied with Athens. In fact, I was coloring all the map as much as I could with blue, light blue for Athens rather than red for Sparta. It was an interesting mechanic, that one. I kind of liked it, and the little mini battles that you could have in that game. I should make a video of that game. I even got the footage. I wonder why, like, uh, Levi, Ulysses, Levi. Metatron, are you aware you are one of my favorite creators? I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Um, Historical vlog can be cool, absolutely. I mean, vlogging is not really the easiest thing to do during a pandemic. I mean, I'm on a lockdown again. Like Palermo, my city, is on a lockdown. Only Palermo, not the rest of Sicily, just here. In fact, I wanted to make a video, and it's everything is ready. I want to basically use my cannonball and destroy a whole bunch of pumpkins. So that's planned already. But I don't really want to do it in my living room if you catch my drift. I wanted to go to like a local to a park or somewhere cool, but right now it's not allowed. So I need to wait. That video I was ready to film, and then boom, lockdown again. So that's that. Augusto from Brazil. Hola, he says. Hola. I have no idea how to say hello in Portuguese. Is that hola? Is that hello? Maybe. And so that's that. Let's see. Phantom Zephyr. Hi Metatron, I'm learning Italian so far. Loving the language. I'm glad to hear. Any tips for beginner students? Well, I'd like you to tell me what your first language is. So if you can tell me that, then I might have some tips for you, because it really depends. It depends. Also, it depends if this is your second language or if it's your third. Well, no, I suppose well, I don't know. If you're English, then it might be your second language. If you are from wherever, then and you are writing in English, and this will be your third language, which kind of changes the approach as well. So yeah, perhaps let me know. Athens all the way, absolutely Athens all the way, mate. I'm a big Athens fan. So yeah, how is the COVID experience going for you? Well, I can't complain. I mean, I work from home. I can make videos, and I can call that work. So I don't think I'm entitled to complain too much. There are things that I would like to do. I'd like to travel, and I can't do it. I wanted to go back to Japan. I wanted to make more videos in Japan. You know how I did? There is a video, literally. There is a video on this channel. It really got, maybe it's one of the videos that got the least amount of views, which is kind of a shame. It always happens, good videos don't get views, and videos you pull together very quickly, and you're like, yeah, let's just get a video like that, like a filler, and then it gets like 100,000 views, and I'm like, oh, I wish I knew. I wish I'd known. But I made this video a while ago. I think it's been like maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I made this video where I'm talking about the history of a Japanese castle, namely Himeji Castle. So it's like history of Himeji Castle. And I start my video normally in my living room, and I'm talking about the history of Himeji Castle. And then at one point I'm like, it would be nice to have footage of Himeji Castle. You know what? Let's take a plane. And I literally do. I take a plane and I go to freaking Japan, and the rest of the video is in Japan. I think most of you haven't seen it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I like doing these things. I think they are a little crazy, and of course they forced me to invest money, but I wanted to go to Japan anyways. So yeah, I like doing that. When I went to London, I then went to Arundel Castle with Matt Easton, which was great. So yeah, the big one. Oh yeah, I know you. I know you. The big one. You got the best comments always. COVID is afraid of you, Metatron. You're the greatest of all time. Hey, I appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, Metatron, do you find, asks Soyuz, that's a very good question actually. Metatron, do you find Latin helps with other Romance languages? Okay, it can, but not that much. So, for example, I think you are asking this question in kind of reference of my latest upload, which is the video fully in Latin. And by the way, I'm noticing that I've received some super chats, so some donations. I will check them in a minute, so I'm not forgetting about you. I noticed. So I just want to answer this question first. So, for example, that video, I had to study that specific terminology when I decided, you know what, I want to talk about lorica segmentata, and I want to do it in Latin. What words do I need to learn? And I needed to learn some words because sometimes it's weird with Italian, and I can really speak about the Italian perspective, not really like the French perspective, but with Italian, Latin, some sentences you understand entirely, and other sentences sound like gibberish completely. Like it sounds like it's a language you can tell it's a mother language, but you don't have a clue. So literally, it's strange. Even as a native Italian, that's why you will notice that in the comments you will always find people who speak like have a Romance language as their first language. Sometimes they'll tell you, "Oh wow, it's incredible how much I can understand of Latin," and other times they'll be like, "Yeah, I can't understand anything," and that's because that's exactly how it is. Sometimes it's like, "Boom, I understand the entire sentence." Other times you can pick a word. You're like, "Yeah, I think that means house because it sounds similar to my language, how we say house, but I have no idea what else he said. And other times you don't know anything. It's like completely, that just doesn't sound like it. So that's how Latin is. And so, would it be a good basis for Romance languages? Well, it's a good basis if you want a deeper understanding of the roots of the words you're using. That's great, but it's not really going to help you much in terms of it. I already know that word in Latin, so now I can understand this word in it. It could, but you need to be really good at Latin. So there is that. Okay, let me see if I can find the super chats. I think I need to click here. I think I got the hang of it. Took me 7 years. Not too bad. Okay, so we've got a few super chats. So thank you so much, as always. You're always a great help, and the same for people who support me on Patreon and everyone watching my videos. Thank you all. So the nomadic Hebrew, what an interesting word. Thank you for your $10. Can we see a video on the Sicari, okay, and other revolts against the Roman Empire in the future? Yes, actually, that's a very good idea. I didn't think of it, but it would be good. I think I could, of course, I should probably start the series with the Spartacus rebellion because it's the most famous, so I think it will be a good pilot episode. But yeah, why not? Sicari and other ones. That's actually a very good idea. Thank you for that. Appreciate. Thank you for £5 from Harry Cole. I appreciate. Elijah Brooks, you are my man. $2. Thank you. Would you do a lecture on the Byzantine era? I think I do have a video on the late Roman Empire where I kind of speak a little bit about that, but I have been planning a video on the Eastern Roman Empire and all the good things that we can learn about it for such a long time, and I don't know why I haven't got around to it, but it's definitely something that you will see, hopefully soon. And TSM Space, thank you for your $20. Awesome armor in your last video. Thank you so much. So I think do you mean the Roman one or do you mean the full plate armor? The full plate armor, like, I'm really so excited about all the things that I can do now. It's such a good suit of armor. It's not complete. I still don't have the legs, but I can already use it. Like, I can test armor mobility. Absolutely. Perhaps, you know what? Today I'm gonna use some of the plate things. I'm gonna show you a few things. It's actually mounted on my mannequin, but I can take a few pieces off, and it is such a great thing because it's made so well in terms of historical accuracy. And of course it's custom made to my specific specifications, and so it's great. Like, I think one of the first videos I'm going to make is to compare the mobility in plate, torso protection, and brigandine. So I've got both now, and boom, I can do that. Then we can test full plate arms with a brigandine, full plate arms with full plate armor harness, and see how that works in terms of mobility. But then there are all the comparative videos like Knight versus Samurai. I mean, it's going to take a completely new level now that I have both sets of armor, because you see, I've made collaborations in the past, like for example with Knight Errant, and it's such a shame that he stopped making videos. Like, he's such a good content creator. Anyways, I made videos where I was wearing my samurai armor, he was wearing his knightly set. At the time it was late 14th century, then he upgraded to late 15th, maybe mid 15th now. And that was good. It's a valid video, but I think it's even better when the same kind of armor, so samurai and knight, are both made for the same person, because otherwise maybe he could raise his leg higher than mine, not because of the armor, but maybe because he's more athletic. But when it's the same exact body with two armors made for that body in two different styles, I think it's like, mwah. So that's what's going to happen soon. Garen Brooks, thank you for your donation, $20. I appreciate it. Get yourself a helmet. Read salad. Okay, yeah, no, thank you for that. I'll save it for the salad then. And I do want a salad. Although I'm really struggling to choose between, the salads I like. I know this is going to sound strange, but the salads I like are the ones that are like, obviously like a salad like this, German style. I know this is going to sound strange because you're like, but you're Italian. I know. It's not like I am biased, but not when something looks good even if it's from another country. I like Italian salads. They are more soft. They're softer. They're nicer. They whatever. But I think the German salad, it's badass. So that's why, usually I prefer Italian everything in terms of armor, cars, whatever, but in clothes, but for food. But the German salad with the long tail, it's like, my gosh, it's so good. So like a German salad with a long tail, possibly not segmented. I like it when it's one single tail, and then without the ability to raise the visor, one piece with a slit. That was very Italian of me. With a slit. That's what I like. Now I know that it's less technological. It's better to have the ability to raise your visor. When it's one solid piece with a slit, you need to raise it manually, or you need to do this. But I just like it. It makes me think of a crossbowman. It really gives me the idea of a crossbowman for some reason. And since I'm working on a crossbowman set, I think that's what I'm gonna do. KVCH, thank you for your donations. I don't know what currency as SEC is, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Metatron is king, it says, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, thank you all for being here, of course. So I've got one more super chat to read, and then I'm going back to the normal chat. Judoka dude. So you're a dude and you're a judoka. That's great. £10. Thank you. Love your videos. Find them really interesting. I appreciate that. What is the best way to start learning classical Latin? My native language is English. I'm just wanting to do it as a hobby. Okay, so the best way to start doing that is to subscribe to the channel Scorpio Martianus on YouTube. He's got some incredible videos of I think it's like Lingua Latina Comprensibilis, where he teaches you Latin in Latin, and you understand it, even if you don't know any Latin. It's like a special technique that he uses that is very valid, and it's good. And if you find that sometimes and you're like, yeah, that's great, but I want someone who speaks English to me and explain things about Latin, then he also has the channel Polymathy. I've had a collaboration with him lately. But to be honest, Scorpio Martianus is such a good place where you can learn Latin for free. He even has, I told him at one point, because I'm a language teacher, and I told him, Luke, you should make a video series of like words for food in Latin, words for fruit in Latin, words for jobs in Latin, and all of that, so they are nice and chunk manageable, and people can just click on what they want and the terminology that they want to learn. And he's doing it. Like he really did it. He started making them, and I think they're great. I didn't really come up with that idea as a content creator. That's how I teach English, Japanese, Italian. That's how I teach languages. I usually divide things in manageable chunks in terms of topics, and that's how I teach them. So like today we're gonna learn, or this week we're gonna learn all the terminology in terms of clothing, and then you've got the whole week to practice that, and then next week is gonna be something else. So that's how I do it, and he started doing it on his channel, Scorpio Martiano. So there's that. What's your favorite game? Asks Mo AI Mihe Bi. Yes. My favorite game is really difficult, and I think that you can understand that if you're a gamer, because that really changes. Like there have been days where I really loved Dragon Age Origins, and generally speaking, if you ask me about my favorite RPG, it's going to be Dragon Age Origins. So that's going to be my favorite game if I really have my back against the wall. But then there will be days when I feel like playing Mass Effect all over again from the first one. And there will be days where, so that in those days, even though that's not my favorite game per se, that's what I want to play. So it really changes. I love Breath of the Wild. In fact, I've got a video in the making. It's being edited right now by my girlfriend, who's actually helping me out with that. And buonasera, Metatron, no pasta today. Of course, I had pasta before starting this. Who do you think you're talking to? Anyways, yes. So there is that. And yeah, this favorite game is difficult to pin, but if I have to speak about a game that really left me a great experience, I'm gonna say Dragon Age Origins. Another game that I've recently played and it was incredible was Soma. Has nothing to do with this, of course, it's sci-fi, but it was like I finished it and I felt like a different man. I loved Little Nightmares 2. I finished it as well, so I really jumped from one type to another. That's how it is. Peter Egomi, non-historical topic, top 10 music bands ever. Well, I can't really come up with a top 10, but some bands I like. I like the Stratovarius. They're great. I mean, I'm into heavy metal. I really like heavy metal. It's kind of funny, but I do. And then, I don't know if I used to like the, what were they called? It's a Japanese rock band. It's called Lunacy. I like the Lunacy. Oh, Swedish Kronas. I didn't know that. Thank you. That's what SEK means. Fantastic. Keanu Reeves is the man. I mean, Keanu Reeves is Keanu Reeves, mate. I mean, he's on a different league. One of my favorite one, but I appreciate the compliment. So, can you do a video about Ottoman Persian mail plate hybrid armor? That could be interesting, although I would have to first get, some proper documentation because it's not really my field of expertise. But sometimes I like, going out of my, I think Americans say comfort zone, and, try to experiment with other things and that. Um, Nikos, I've seen you playing RPG games. Would you ever play a strategy game like Total War Attila? I would very much like to see you playing it with your knowledge of Roman era. Actually, I have all Total Wars, almost all Total Wars. I'm a huge fan. My favorite are the Warhammer ones, obviously, as you can tell from my not my my last video, latest video, but the previous one. But I do play Total War a lot. It's just usually I play them in multiplayer. But that could be an interesting idea. Maybe I could play Rome. Rome Total War. Not one of their finest, but it's a good one. I like all Total Wars, and yeah. Let's see. Okay, any recommendation, asks Zarek, for where in Europe you can buy weapons and armor? Yes, you can find two videos. I have a guide to Roman reenactment and a guide to medieval reenactment where I list you all my favorite craftsmen. But just to give you a quick answer, although I still refer you to those videos, if you want Roman, Fabrica Cacti on Facebook. Fabrica, it's like fabric with an A, and Cacti, it's like Cacti, Fabrica Cacti, and they are the ones that made my Roman armor. Fantastic. If you want to do Roman reenactment, go there, and they are in Poland. I think. Are they in Poland? I hope they're in Poland. I don't want to offend people. I think they're in Poland. And then for swords, I suggest Elgur Sword Makery, Elgur, exceptional, and he's in Czech Republic. Mind you, actually, some very good swords were from Czech Republic in the medieval period, so it figures, you know what I mean. And then for plate armor, I always suggest the guys that made my armor, although they're not technically in Europe, they're in Crimea. So yeah, is it Eastern Europe? I'm not actually sure if now, because you know how it is with Russia, Ukraine, and one claiming the other, Crimea. I have no idea. I don't understand international politics. I don't know where they are. They are in Crimea. They are on planet Earth, and they make splendid armor, and they're called Craftsmen of Taurica, and you will find them on Facebook. Taurica is spelled Taurica. Taurica. So tell them that the Metatron sent you. Absolutely. Can you speak German? No. I mean, I can say very simple things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think. And then I can say like, wie geht's? Warum? Guten Morgen. Guten Abend. Ich bin kein Deutscher. Du bist ein Schwein. I can say these things. I want to make a video in German though. Eventually I'll do it. It'll take some studying. Scorpio Martianus. Yeah, that's the one. Metatron recommended. I've got some more. I've got a lot more super chats. You are awesome as always. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. And I know how hard worked money is. I know the value of hard worked money. I've been working since I was 19, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So $20 from Sun God Ra. So the Egyptian god himself just donated $20 to me. Thank you. How's the armor reorder going? Okay, so when he says armor reorder, it means that I want to get a new fold because I'm not particularly fond of mine. It's good, but it's not exactly how I wanted it, so I'm going to have a second one. And we are discussing. We are still, and it takes time with craftsmen, unfortunately, so I think it's going to take probably another month just to get everything started, just to get... to make them understand what I want exactly. 300 people! We've got 300 people. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, it's going to take some time. $10 from Virgil's Guard. That's a very cool name, actually. As you have learned about other cultures and ideals, has it ever conflicted with your own? Yes, but sometimes it actually has opened my mind. So particularly living abroad. When I was a school teacher, and I say I was because right now all schools are closed. When I was a school teacher, particularly when I was teaching high school students, secondary school from an English perspective, one of the first things that I told my students and their parents was, if you can get your son/daughter to spend some time in another country, do it. Because it's the best way to open your eyes. Living in the UK living in Japan, visiting other countries is good as well, but it's not as good as living in other countries. When you live in another country and you see that life can be lived in a different way, the society can be managed in a different way, and you see pros and cons. And if you go there with an ignorant mind, as many people unfortunately do, you will start criticizing everything that is not like your country, and you won't learn much from that culture. But when you go there with an open mind and you try to remove those filters and you're like, hey, I'm the alien here, let's see what I can learn from them. Of course there will be things that will drive you nuts and things that won't be compatible with your way of living and thinking, but there will be many other things. Like, for example, when I went to Japan, everything was so clean and everyone was so punctual that it taught me punctuality. And punctuality is not really one of the typical characteristics of a Southern Italian, if you know what I mean. But I learnt it and I applied it into my life. So in a way, it changed me for the better. And I think that that's something you can do. So yes, many things, absolutely. Even like Japanese dedication, and even when I lived in the UK, in a way, it kind of shaped me because of many things that I think I've adopted from the Brits and all of that. So there is that. Thank you for the question. And we've got hello Metatron. What about building Roman structures in Minecraft? Asks Gear van de Waard. Okay, I don't play Minecraft, so I have no idea. I'm sorry. The only things I build are in games such as Conan Exile, fantastic game. I've got 200 hours there. And Valheim, which is my favorite ever. I love Valheim. I'm building an entire city and I'm documenting the whole thing because it's going to be a proper fortress created in the biome, in one of the most dangerous biomes in that game, which is the plains with the goblins. And I'm building a proper fortress, medieval style, with an actual real approach to it. And it's taking me. I've got 200 hours there as well, and I'm taking my time, but it's gonna be a great video. And by the way, please, it's Valheim, not Valheim or Valheim. It's Old Norse. In Old Norse, E plus I is pronounced A, not I. That's German, just to say. I think some modern Scandinavian languages pronounce it I, but not Old Norse. I actually checked it. In fact, now every time I hear Valheim, it kind of drives me nuts. Yes, so $5 from Ezra Folk. Thank you. Hey, Raf, did you ever get the cape you wanted for testing how it affected in combat? Also, stop promoting Raid Shadow Shady Legend. Okay, so I actually stopped. I haven't really had any chance to promote Raid. I don't hate the game. I appreciated their support, as I will say that. But at the moment, I've got quite a lot of sponsorships planned, but Raid is not one of those at the moment. But as I say, and no, I don't have the cape, unfortunately. No, so not that. Hopefully I will be able to get one made. And there is this place called, you should totally check it out. It's called Medieval Design, and they're based in Italy, in the Midlands. I think they're in Abruzzo somewhere, maybe. And they are the ones that made my soft kit, and they make some really good stuff. So I'm sure that they could make a cape for me. Joshua, £5. Thank you. 5 quids. What's the other word for pounds in English? Wait, it's gubs? Was it No, governor is a friend. Oh my gosh, they have so many ways to say pounds. £10, it's a tenner, £10, 10 quids. My gosh, I can't remember. There is another way to say pounds in English. Anyways, hi Metatron, hello. I'm such on a tangent today, lots of tangents. They are remastering the Mass Effect trilogy. Actually, I know. Also, great bands to check out are Korn, Breaking Benjamin. I know Breaking Benjamin, and Disturbed. I don't know them. Some of my favorites. Check them out. Thank you. And I know they're remastering the trilogy. I think they're doing a great job. I'm definitely buying it in the moment it gets out. And I finished the first one. I finished the second one, and I only played the third one a little bit. I didn't finish it. But the first one was my favorite, but the second one was really good, which is great because oftentimes the second one of a good game doesn't tend to be very good. But I liked the second one a lot, as well. And I noticed that the graphics are looking really good. Like the textures are looking great, but sometimes the original image. I like the original image sometimes better because it was highly contrasted and darker. So of course, when you look at closer shots, yeah, there is no comparison. High textures, 4K, I think. So that's great. But sometimes, there's that. Joshua, Oh yeah, you're the one who told me about that. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for your $10. I appreciate it. Will you review the Ghost of Tsushima armor sets like you did with the For Honor classes? Yeah, I'm planning on doing that. So probably I should have done it earlier. Actually, I completely forgot about it. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate. Useful trash. What a name. Thank you for your donation. Spaghetti. Spaghetti it is, my friend. Spaghetti it is. Let me see some general. Let me see if I do chat. There you go. This way I should be able to see all chats. Second question has to do with Japan. Before having contact with Europeans and before the discovering and colonization of the New World, did Japan view itself as the land from where the sun rises? I would imagine so, yes. In fact, this is why, if you think about it, Japan, when you read it in kanji, it's Nihon, which can also be read Nippon, but usually Nihon is more used in Japan. And Ni is sun, and Hon means the source, so the source of the sun, where the sun is generated. That's what Japan means. Now, what's interesting is that name was given to them by the Chinese. That's something that maybe not everyone knows, because kanji, of course, are derived from the Chinese Hanzi. So the characters are Chinese, and that's how the Chinese called Japan. And I think they called it like that because Japan is in the east, or towards where the sun rises. And the Japanese literally, the way I look at it is the Japanese saw that and they're like, yeah, we're getting all the kanji, the Hanzi from China, we are putting them into Japanese. How do they call us? Oh, they call us the land of this, where the sun is, or the rising sun. Great, we like it. That's what we call it. But they didn't invent it. Before that, you'll be like, so what did they call Japan before that? And they called it Yamato, which is where you get that name, which is very famous. So Yamato at first wasn't the entirety of Japan, of course. It was just a section of Japan, but then it expanded. You have the Yamato expansion. And so the Japanese called it Yamato. But then Nihon comes from China. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Would medieval knights be epic gamers? I would imagine so. Why not? I mean, they were rich, so they didn't work much. They trained, but then they had a lot of free time, so why not? Absolutely. Great, good question so far. Let me scroll back, because I'm sure there are some good questions I've missed. For example, the headbang guy. Jude, how many weeks did it take you guys to finish the Curse of Silverthorn? Yes, the Curse of Silverthorn has officially finished, but we might do something else like that in the future. I loved every minute of it. And I think it took us something like 6 or 7 weeks, because sometimes we filmed 2 episodes. Like the first time, so there are 8 episodes, but the first 2 were filmed in one go. And I don't remember if we did that again, but all the others were like one shot per week. So probably something in the lines of like 7 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. It was really fun. I loved it. So if you, maybe not all of you know, but it's on Shad's second channel, Game Nights, and you can find me, Matt Easton, Jason Kingsley, Shad, and Lindy Beige, so Lloyd of Lindy Beige, all playing this cogent roleplay made by Shad and his brother Jazza, and we play role-playing games. Shad is the game master, and we all play. I'm an elf, of course. I think next time we do that, I'm gonna clean shave and I'm gonna put on the elven ears. I'm gonna do that. So you know, YOLO, right? So yeah. Metatron, where do you recommend buying a late medieval Gothic salad? Craftsmen of Taurica, as I said, based in Crimea. Absolutely. They make some really good Gothic armor as well. In fact, with me, it was like one of the first experiences with Italian armor, because usually they make Gothic. So definitely go for Gothic with them. Vigo, that's a very good one. So, can you make a video? I love these videos that I make, like these hangouts and chats, because you guys are the best brainstormers ever in terms of like, what could I make? What videos could I make? And there you go. I make one of these, I record it, I write it down, and I've got like 100 video ideas. Fantastic. Can you make a video about the Jews under the Roman Empire and what weapons and forms of warfare did they use in their revolts against the Romans, and also on Hasmonean dynasty? Before people correct me, I know that some people say dynasty, but in England they say dynasty, and I'm used to that. Yeah, the Jews under the Roman Empire could be an interesting one. I wanted to actually make a video, which I will. It's in the making, it's planned. I've got many videos planned. I wanted to make a video dedicated to one specific Jew, from the eyes of the Romans. That specific Jew being Yeshua, so Jesus. I wanted to make a video speaking about all the testimonies and the things that the Romans say about that, and give it a perspective also from the times of the Romans. So actually kind of dive in, because I do believe in the historical figure of Jesus. My religious opinion about Jesus is something that I'd rather not share on the channel, because this is not a channel about religion, and I don't want to force my opinions and beliefs on you. It's up to you. I mean, yeah, of course, I'm Italian. I was brought up as a Christian. I think that that already answers it. But I don't want to make a video where I bring in religious ideas, because religion is personal. It's something that for you, whatever. I want to bring a historical opinion, an archaeological opinion, and also an opinion of someone who knows how the Romans thought, and give you an opinion from that point of view. So you know how I recently made a video on it was the Britons through the eyes of the Romans. And so I want to do something like that. The Jews through the eyes of the Romans could be an interesting video. So we're going to do that. Let's see. More questions for us. More questions for us. Mona Lisa, fantastic to know that. I don't know why you said Mona Lisa, but that's fine. Buongiorno, buongiorno. You wrote it buongiorno. It's actually buongiorno. You need a U before the O, but that's fine. We understand each other. Let's see. The big one, the greatest historian in world history is the Metatron. I appreciate, thank you. And let's see, I don't even consider myself to be a historian. I'm a history enthusiast, but hey, I appreciate you. Let's see. Sweta. Ciao Metatron from Sweden. My mother is from Italy, Savona, Liguria. Okay, she's from the north. My father is Swedish. Like your videos and good luck with everything. Thank you so much, and say hello to your mum. And it's great to have you here. Let's see. Do you know anything about Balkan armor? I don't. Sorry, I don't. Sembri un po' stanco, bro. T'apposta. I like when they use dialect. Yeah, I am a little tired, but I'm okay. Not too bad. I think I look more tired because of the angle. It makes me look a little, I get like the dark eyes a little bit. So there is that. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of super chat. Thank you so much. I'm gonna double check to make sure that I have noticed all super chats, because I mean, it's the right thing to do. Phoenix 96, thank you so much. 50 Canadian dollars. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your donation. You're all great. Salve Imperator, because the R is long in Imperator. Are you in favor of a Latin bloc? Romance states Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, Romania, Latin America use Latin as lingua franca for Latin identity, vernacular for local identity, Nova Imperium Romanum, Catholic Church, Latin Mass. I think it would be great to bring back Latin. I'm a huge supporter of that, but you can't really force it onto people. I don't know what should be done. I mean, it would be great if Latin. I mean, at the end of the day, we do study Latin. I mean, at school in Italy, we all study Latin. I think it's taught the wrong way, because generally speaking, when you learn Latin here, you just translate stuff. And I think a language should be taught as a spoken language, because Latin was a spoken language, as I have demonstrated on my latest video. And so I think it would be great if countries that have a heritage from a Latin heritage, just like the ones you mentioned, it would be great if you would teach the youth how to speak Latin. That would be amazing, because as you say, yeah, I mean, it's never going to be a lingua franca, because English is, and English is a lot easier than Latin, so it's never going to happen. But it would be nice if it became a lingua franca between intellectuals, or between, something that you could use. It would be really fun. So yeah, that would be great. Thank you for that thought. So let me check if I missed the super chats. There is one. Hervis Dobeny, £5. Thank you. Hey Metatron, would you be willing to check out a smaller underrated member of the community of the sword? He's called Raven Knight. Absolutely, yes. I think you did mention it already in one of your comments. I did see the comment, but then I forgot to go check him out. So absolutely, yeah, I'll do that. Very much so. And everyone, if you ever know of a channel that you think it would be great if I could check them out, I totally will. I'm happy to do that. So feel free to always let me know. So yeah, I'm definitely checking him out. Thank you for mentioning. Italian is the most beautiful language. Well, thank you. Mona Lisa da Vinci. I appreciate that. I think it is a beautiful language, particularly when it's spoken properly. Do you eat pizza with pineapple in Palermo? Heresy. Heresy. Absolutely not. No one will, like, literally, if you go into a pizzeria here in Italy, everywhere, and you ask for a pizza with pineapple, which we say ananas in Italian, so you're like, una pizza con l'ananas, they will never, they will refuse to sell it to you. They won't do it. First, they look at you like, are you joking? What do you mean? And then they won't do it. It doesn't matter if you pay, they're never gonna get that. Not in Italy. $10, thank you. Have you played Mordhau lately? Not lately, but I have played it. I don't know. Mordhau, I don't know why. I just can't get into it. Maybe I've misunderstood a little bit the gameplay. Maybe I should give it a second shot. Crossbow shot. But so I will. But I don't know. I played it a bit and then I stopped. I think I should. So yeah. Victor, thank you for your donation. Hey Metatron, whenever will you make a video about the Japanese warrior monks? Keep up the great work. I mentioned the monks in two occasions already on my channel. Occasion number one, so I don't have a dedicated video, but I mentioned the monks recently on one of my Age of Samurai reviews. I think the second one, actually it is the second one, when I review episode 2 and 3. I do speak a little bit about the warrior monks. And then I speak a bit more about it when I reviewed the character who is a monk. I think she's a witch and a monk in For Honor. So if you check out my For Honor video about the witch, and I don't remember what her name is, but yeah, since she's supposed to be a Japanese monk, I did take an opportunity to speak a little bit about the history of the Japanese monks in that video. So there is that. The one guy, could you do Spanish and Portuguese armor during the 14th or 15th century? Well, you read my mind because that's all planned. So you know I recently made the video on the Burgundian Knights, and I know that you guys liked it. The video's doing well. So you know that when a video does well, what does a good content creator do? Turns it into a series. So the next one, which is in the making, I already have all the pictures, I already have all the script, and I just need to film it, is on the winged hussars. And I know that there are people in the community that have been waiting for this forever. I'm doing it. It's going to be episode 2. And then after that, the series will continue and we will be looking into as many armor styles as we can. So yeah, that includes Spain and Portugal, of course. Great countries. Thank you, TSM Space, $10. Well, the physics of Jesus learning to fly with a cloth saw like a paraglider is realistic. I have no idea where you got that. Let's see. What's your favorite historical weapon? If you don't have one, whatever you think was the most effective for your knowledge. My favorite historical weapon is a one-handed European, I want to say 13th, 14th century sword. The Spada di lato. So there's the sidearm, the arming sword, one-handed. That's my favorite historical weapon. I think it's great. Another one I really like 15th century, 16th century tucks, the estoc, stocco in Italian. Those are great as well. I love them. And of course, if I wear against someone in armor, I will go for a tuck. Some tucks were so thin and pointy that they basically were mini spears, if you think about it. And a mini spear, is a spear that you can use in very close quarter combat. So yeah, arming sword, 13th century or 15th century tuck. S-stock. Those would be my choices. Weapons of choice. I can't wait for this video about Yeshua. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. There you go. Would you consider a sequel to your video on Hebrew? Okay, yeah, I did make a video where I was translating the first paragraphs in the Bible in Hebrew. I do have. Let me show you. There we go. So this is the Bible in Hebrew. I've got the Bible in Hebrew directly from Jerusalem. I think I got it. Maybe, I don't know. Language videos don't really do very well on this channel. Well, that one did, but generally speaking, they don't, which is the reason why I kind of shifted and I only make the occasional language video, but I mostly do ancient military history, also because it's more fun, let's be honest. But yeah, I might do the occasional one, and we'll see. We shall see. Let's see. So lots of questions. We have another super chat. You guys have been great. I mean, we already amounted to over 200 euros of donations. That is spectacular. I mean, thank you so much. You are the best. Ezra says, "Don't shave the beard. My girlfriend is gonna love you for that. She likes the beard." Norse Alva men would have beards anyways. Don't shave the beard, he says again. Okay, yeah, no. If I okay, I do like my beard. I like it trimmed usually, but I am planning on keeping the beard. But I will occasionally shave it. Only when I'm making a video on elves, I might shave it, or when I'm an elf for a video, or when I make a video and I want to be like a typical Roman soldier with a shaved face. Although Roman soldiers with a beard are found in the Trajan column, I'd like to underline. But yeah, so beard is staying for now. It's kind of funny. I remember when I went to Czech Republic, I shaved and I made a video, and you Muppets wrote and said, "Hey, what is Metatron's sister doing here? What is Metatron?" I was like, "Yeah, they're a nice one. All right, whatever." Let's see. Metatron, do you know of Mongol invasion of India, where the Mongols were brutally defeated? No, I don't actually. I have no idea. So that would be interesting to look at. Thank you for that. I'll write it down. I'll have my assistant. There's no assistant. I'll have my assistant write it down for me. I'll write it down myself. Metatron, I would love to see you play Rome remastered. Yeah, that could be good. And I wanted to play Rise, Son of Rome as well. That's another one I should make. Cooney says, "Hey, you are gay." My girlfriend might disagree. Let's see, what else have we got? Love you, Metatron. Thank you, Cheddar Cats. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. I appreciate greeting from Mexico. So, gracias, gracias. Muchas gracias. Mexico's so cool. I mean, you guys are the literal descendants of the Aztecs. Actually, the video I made, Aztecs versus Spanish, which is such a strange video because it capped at 20,000 views, and I was like, oh, such a shame. I put a lot of work on this video, and now it has over 100,000. How does that happen? It got blocked. I don't know. Did someone share it? Did the king of the Aztecs share it? I don't know. But anyways, when I made that video, it was interesting because I forgot to say that the name Mexico comes from the word that the Aztecs called themselves, because they didn't call themselves Aztecs. They called themselves Mexica, which is spelled like Mexica, and that's where it comes from, which is very interesting. I think the word Aztec comes from Aztlan, which is not theoretical, but the mythological place of origins of the Aztecs that no one really know where it was. So okay, $5 from Monster XXX. How did Japan treat Christians? Did the Japanese despise Christianity? Initially, yes, Christians were murdered in Japan, and it kind of depends on which period you're looking at and who was in charge, because sometimes you had Japanese overlords that liked the West, and they liked everything about the West, and so they liked Christianity as well. They sympathized with Christianity, and so they liked having Christians, because you have to imagine it from the Japanese of the time. Christians, monks, Westerners in general, it was like something special that you could show off. That's how you need to look at it. It's like, look at what I've got. Look what I have in my court. It's such a special thing because only I have it. So sometimes you do have people, overlords that sympathize with Christianity, and other times you had people, overlords that considered it a threat. And when that was the case, they killed Christians. And another thing they did is that they I don't remember who he was, but there was a specific Japanese overlord, shogun, who hated Christians, and because he knew that there were Christian converts among the Japanese, not only he made it illegal for Western Christians to preach, generally speaking Catholics, of course, we're talking about at the time, but he also forced the areas where you had like villages where Japanese had received preaching, and so he thought, there are going to be Christians here who are Japanese, so how can I find them out? He took images of Christ, he put them on the ground, and he forced Japanese to either spit on them or like stomp them, and if they didn't, they would be put to death. So yeah, Christianity had a tough time in Japan, and that happened, but then again, Now it's legal. You've got everything. You've got every single possible kind of Christian in Japan, really. It's not like China, because you know that in China it's still illegal for Christians to preach, and you can't have the Bible in China. You can't go around with anything that suggests Christianity. And in the Republic of China, I mean, because in Hong Kong you can. But in Japan there is everything. You've got Jehovah's Witnesses, you've got Catholics, you've got Mormons, you've got it all. Mr. Dark Humor, thank you for your $10. I appreciate. Hello, Metatron. You're doing great in your videos. Thank you. I understand you're busy, but I have sent my story through email. Oh, yes, I did get it. So I'm curious about your thoughts. I apologize for my impatience. Any ideas? I still haven't read it. I saw the email, but I still haven't read it. I will read it. It's just that right now I'm thinking of stepping up my... we have 392 people. Let's see if we can get to 400. I want to try. Right now, I publish twice a week. I want to see if I can go to 3 times a week. So once that schedule is established and I see how much time I have left, then I'll definitely check it out. Thank you for sending it to me, and thank you for your patience. What languages do you speak? Aha! I am not going to tell you that, because I will say that on a dedicated video in the making. Because they have increased, and the number has increased since the last time I made a video about that at the very beginning of my channel. Mr. Dark Humor, thank you for your $2. This Jacob Morris, by the way. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate. We say ananas in Greek too. Fantastic. Maybe we copied you. It could be. Pizza with peanut butter. No. We also call pineapples ananas in Arabic. I think everyone says ananas but the frigging English. Why do you say pineapple? Well, yeah, it does look like a pine. Not a pine, but a little thing from pines. But what are they called again in English? I can't remember. But yeah, everyone says ananas. It's really funny. Are you looking forward to Chivalry 2? I am looking forward to Chivalry 2 a lot. I used to like Chivalry. Sometimes it drives me nuts, like when you got people in front of you and they start jumping and hitting, and I'm like, come on, I just want to have the feeling of a medieval battle. What the heck is that? So I hate that, although it's fun when they jump like idiots and you shoot them with the bow and you hit them, bam, and they die. That's fun. But yeah. No, I'm totally looking forward to Chivalry 2, and I still have to try Bannerlord. Lots of things to do. It's like you need a 24 hours day. That's what you need, rather than a 12 hours day. Jesse Blackburn, thank you for your £5. And again, I apologize that it takes me a long time to notice the super chats, but you shall be noticed, and I appreciate for your donations. And I also appreciate everyone who's here. Greetings from Cardiff, Wales. Isn't Cardiff in the south of Wales? I think. Can't remember. Because I used to live in the north of Wales. I spent 3 months in the north of Wales. In fact, I know how to say something in Welsh. Boreda sit d'aquí. That's what I know how to say in Welsh. Boreda. I'm watching the stream on my TV. Hey, I'm big. Look at that. Look how big I am. I'm big. I'm on a TV. Are there any videos which you made but decided not to publish in the end? Videos, I think it must have happened. Probably not more than once. I think it probably happened like once or twice. And not really. Usually when I think of it, yeah, no, it has happened that I filmed a video and I didn't like how I filmed it, and so I stopped. That happened a few times. Just can't remember what they were about. But yeah, it occasionally happens, but the majority of my videos are up. And there are a few videos that I actually removed and made private. That happened. I once made a video. It wasn't always my choice, though. Like, once I made a video about top 10 most effective weapon-based martial arts, and then a person did a copyright claim, a copyright strike, actually. And so I spoke to this person because I used some footage that he had created. And you might think, well, Metatron, it's not right to use footage of another person. The thing is that he knew it, and then he still gave me a strike, which was very dishonorable. But then we spoke about it, and I said, hey, a strike is not a small thing. It's a big thing, and it could 400 people, yay, and it could be a problem. So I don't want to fight you legally. Don't put me in that position, but just remove the strike. And he removed it. So he actually said he was sorry about it. He didn't mean it in a bad way. So that's why I'm not going to say his name, because it's not, he's a good person. I don't think he's a bad person. But he removed it. I still think it wasn't okay to do that after he said yes, but that video unfortunately was of course taken down, and then I re-uploaded it recently without that footage. So so the video's there, and it's doing well as well, so I'm happy with that. Another time, I made a video. So after my very first lesson of Katori Shintoryu Kenjutsu, I made a video because I was excited. I was like, wow, this is so good. And I made a video where I spoke about the differences between Kenjutsu and Kendo. And you'll be like, but how can you say something like that after one lesson? And you're right. I was just overexcited. I probably should have waited a couple of years. But the thing is that they were so blatant to me. They were so obvious to me, some of the things like the footwork. They were teaching me the footwork and I was like, wow, it's so different. And then the way to charge the hit and your grip, because it's one of the first things they're going to teach you is the guard positions. And I'm like, wow, I know my guard positions from Kendo and I can already see the difference. But then that video created a lot of fuss in the Katori Shintoryu Facebook page. And some people were fine. They were like, it's not a big deal. It's just a very basic video. Of course, he's a beginner, but it's not a big deal. Just get over it. But other people were like calling me all names. Like, he's a horrible person and he's doing this and he should be banned and he shouldn't be allowed to practice Katori Shintoryu. And that's the thing. Katori Shintoryu is a great style. And I really like the people who practice it, except those who don't treat it like a martial art and a great heritage and tradition, which is what it is. They treat it like a frigging religion. And that I don't appreciate. So, do I like the Katori Shintoryu community? Yes, and I respect it. Do I like everyone in the community? Absolutely not. There are some people that I think are complete idiots, and they think that about me as well. So it's at least it's a mutual feeling. But at the end of the day, I spoke with my sensei, and he said, yeah, the publication of that video wasn't a good thing. So it would be good if you could remove it, and I did. I removed it out of respect to the Kenjutsu community that was accepting me, and so I removed it, and yeah, that happened. So yeah, sometimes I had to remove videos. Once I removed a video because I actually made a mistake. I was pissed because I was speaking to it's like basically a site where they make weapons and armor, although well, a site, I'm not going to say anything. And they were making some Roman stuff. And I told them, hey, I want to place an order for content production. I want to buy like 2-3 helmets. I end up buying them from another place. But I'm going to buy 2-3 helmets because I want to have several legionaries. I'm going to buy a sword. I'm going to buy a mail shirt. And so, it was a substantial order for content production. And then I said, I also noticed that you have, I think it was, I don't know, like a Montefortino helmet, and I said, do you think you could send me the Montefortino for free if I also mention your channel? Is something that we do all the time. As content creators, we're like, hey, you support my work. I was still gonna pay for all the rest, but I said it would be cool to have a Montefortino for free, and then I'll mention your shop to my community, because usually they like these kind of things. It could be a little collaboration. But the person who replied was rude. So they didn't just say no, which would have been okay. She was rude. She was like, well, everyone says they are a YouTuber, so we can't just give helmets for free to anyone. And so that kind of made me angry. I overreacted, so I was wrong making a video about it, but I did. I made a video about it in the heat of the moment, and I said, you know what, this is what they did, and I think that it's crap, because it was a good offer. They literally lost a big order because if you don't treat me well, yeah, because it wasn't nice. Like they even, I don't remember exactly how the email was, but I remember it was very rude. And so I got pissed and I made a video about it. But then some of you said, well, Metatron, we understand, but it's not right to boycott them either, because if you speak badly about them, it's not a good thing. And so I said, my community is right, this is not the right thing to do. So I removed that video and I made a clarification video, which is still on the channel, where I said, I think I overreacted. I think I was in the right at first, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to do a collaboration with me, it's their it's their choice. They don't have to, just because I'm a content creator and I've got a voice. And I don't like that, and that's why I'm always trying to, no matter the subscriber account number I have, I never want to slip into that prideful approach that unfortunately some content creators have. Luckily, no one in the community of the sword, that they feel that, do you know who I am? That kind of attitude. I hate it. I hate it because we're all the same. We're all human beings. It doesn't matter that I have a following. I'm still a normal customer. Mine was a legitimate business proposal, so that was okay. But it's fine for them to say no. Maybe I would have appreciated if they did it in a less rude way, but still, that's the thing. So yeah, sometimes, gosh, it took me forever to answer this question. I apologize if that was a little bit too long. Okay, so I've got loads of other questions. I always appreciate you. Someone is putting pictures of pineapples, which is great. This should be our pineapple day. Everyone eat pineapple, not on pizza, at the end of this video. And $5 from Jack the Ripper. I hope you're not the real one. I want to know more about cannonballs, the history, how they're made, how you fight with them, how many were made, how this be would this be an idea you'd be into? Yeah. As I said at the very beginning, maybe you weren't here at the very beginning of this video. I am preparing a video, and I didn't say what it's called. It's called The Power of the Cannibal. It's the same mini series as The Power of Brass Maces and my new bronze mace. It's a whole series where I smash stuff with these weapons, and I'm gonna do that as soon as the lockdown is released here from Palermo. I'll go outside because I don't want to smash pumpkins in my living room, and I'll do that. I'll test it, I'll use it against a Roman helmet, and I'll destroy it, and then we'll talk about the history. But I do have a video on cannibal though already, so if you don't want to wait and want to just learn a little bit about the theory rather than the practice, go check out my video on the cannibal because it's already on the channel. Metatron, speaking of armor, that's such a good question. Check this out. SS Gaming Studios. Metatron, speaking of armor, who do you think in the medieval period had the best armor? Who? Okay, so best armor, I think we're going to have to look at the 16th century probably. My favorite is late 15th, and many people say that that's the zenith of plate armor. But to be honest, early 16th century armor, where they actually manage to make this portion of your plate arms segmented so you can actually articulate it, which is genius, and you don't have to have the big things like I do for my arms, for my plate harness. I think that's just the best. And who had the best? Well, according to the archaeological evidence we have now, it would have to be Germany or Italy. But then again, we don't have a lot of archaeological. We don't know if, as I said on the dedicated video, if the Burgundians had great armor at the time and it just didn't survive. We don't know if the English had incredible armor at the time and it didn't survive. So as of now, for what we have, we should say Germany or Italy. But perhaps new evidence will come by, and so this can change. We'll have to see. Oh, that's a good one, Augusto. Can Italians totally understand, and then I'm going to check some more super chats. Can Italian totally understand the Divine Comedy? And an idea for a video. Talk about the history of the implementation of standard Italian in modern Italy. That could be interesting, although it's very linguistic oriented, so I'll have to see. Can Italians understand the Divine Comedy? Generally speaking, yes. You just have the occasion, because it's medieval Italian and it's not Latin, it's still Italian. And generally speaking, yes, they use words that we don't use anymore. They use articles differently, but you usually understand it, although underneath the Divine Comedy, you will find always a little interpretation for the parts that are too different for us to understand. So, in general, yes. I mean, I can actually quote it by heart. I can quote you at the beginning and give you an example. So there is the beginning of the Divine Comedy in Italian, medieval Italian starts: Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai per una selva oscura che la diritta via era smarrita. Okay, so nel mezzo, we say the same, in the middle. Nel mezzo del cammin, we would say del cammino in modern Italian, of the path, of the walking, but it's similar. Di nostra vita would become della nostra vita in Italian, but you can tell of our lives it means, and you can tell very similar. Mezzo cammino nostra vita. Mi ritrovai is the same. I found myself in una selva oscura. Now, selva, it's a very medieval word for forest that we don't use anymore unless you're talking poetry. Okay, so in poetry, in modern Italian, sure, you'll hear it, but no one is going to tell you, hey, I just went to a selva the other day. No, we say foresta, bosco in modern Italian. Selva comes from classical Latin silva, which is it's yeah, it's a word that I think you know, and we don't use it anymore. But I still understand it. I still understand it. So as you can tell, yeah, the words are different, but they just sound old. Sometimes very beautiful because I think selva is a very beautiful word, and oscura means dark. We still use it in modern day Italian just that way. Oscura. I could, if I turn off the light and I say this room è oscura, it's fine. It's the same word as a medieval word. We still use it, which is actually has the same origin as the English word obscure. So basically, that's what we use. I hope that that answers the question. What is your favorite type of fantasy setting? Low or high fantasy? Dark or epic? Epic high fantasy is probably my favorite. But I do like dark fantasy, like when it's well implemented. As I said, my favorite RPG is Dragon Age Origins, and that's definitely dark fantasy, and yet it's my favorite. So it really depends. But generally speaking, my favorite is epic high fantasy like Heroes of Might and Magic. That would be the sort of stuff that I really like. But yeah, as I say, Dark Souls and all of that, it's fantastic. So yeah, the very close second would be dark fantasy. And that's that. Do you do Hema? Well, I practiced it a few times, but right now I don't do anything because of the pandemic. Plus, in Sicily, there is no Hema club. But once I move to America, which is still a plan I have, I know there is a Hema club not far away from where I am, and I will go practice there. Let's see. Could you make a video about the Janissas? Yeah, the Turkish ones, right? I definitely will eventually. I am actually making a video about the difference between the arquebus and the musket. So we're going to look into early gunpowder and early guns, and it's great that it just so happens that Jason Kingsley from Modern History TV has recently said that he's going to make some videos on that too. So it would be cool to that we both had a similar idea. Okay, we are here. We've been here for an hour. That's fantastic. I need to check the battery. And by the way, if it does happen that the connection gets cut off, I'll come back to say goodbye. So don't worry about that. If you see I disappear, I will come back. I'll just let me see 60%. Hey man, what the headband guy? Hey man, what happened to that Aurora girl that you brought in for a little while? Oh yeah, we are still friends. It's just we haven't seen each other in such a long time. I think we took kind of different paths. And plus, I mean, with this pandemic right now, it's like you can't go visit anyone. That's the thing. What's up from New York? I love New York. I really like it. Okay, super chats. Carl Johnson, I apologize that it took me 16 centuries to notice your super chat. I apologize. Hey Metatron, do you know any stories that Roman or Japanese had considering owls? In my country's folklore, Finland, very cool, they were said to come to collect the souls of the dying. That's very nice. People fear them, and they were hunted by this. I don't know actually. I'm not aware of anything like that. It could be. When I looked into the Japanese folklore very deeply, and I made those 5 videos on Japanese folklore that I have on my channel. I don't remember. I remember looking at a lot of ghosts and spirits, but I don't remember owls. But it could be, so I'll have to see. It's interesting that for the Greeks, the owl was actually a good symbol, so that's why it's one of the main symbols that you see sometimes in imagery. But it could be an interesting one to find out, and thank you for letting us know about your country. Virtuous God, thank you for your $5. Since you are such an armor enthusiast, absolutely. Does it bother you in movies when they cut through armor like butter? Okay, either you have seen my video and you're trolling me, or you sincerely don't know. In which case, check out my video. Now you know that. I think you're just trolling, but yeah. Just in case, I made the video Armor is Butter or Armor is Not Butter, or something like that. So you should check it out. It's called Armor Rant, I think. I go nuts on that video, so yeah. Does it bother me? Absolutely it bothers me. TJ Shaw, hey Metatron, love your videos. Thank you for your donation, 7 Canadian dollars. Keep being awesome. Thank you. My question for you, do you think King Arthur and the Camelot was real or purely a myth? Now, it's possible that it was based on something alongside those lines, although again, oftentimes in the movies and video games, they represent the Arthurian legend, which is such a great myth, by the way. They are generally speaking set in the 15th century, but in reality, Arthur would have been an 8th century sort of situation, so very different. We should imagine King Arthur wearing mail. And I do believe there is some truth to it. Like there must be some historical basis to it. And I actually think I read that there is some historical basis to it. Maybe not Merlin, but you know what I mean. Okay, let me double check that I haven't forgotten any other super chat. Yes, hey Meta, you gotta do a reaction to horrible histories, the early seasons mainly. Yeah, probably should. Good idea, thank you. I'm pinning it down, penciling it in. Ezra Folk, $5. Thank you so much. Were you aware that before us, Westerners used the Meiji, government to force our Puritan values on them? Public nudity was actually normal in Japan. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Before us, Westerners used us, yeah, Meiji government to force our Puritan values. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, you don't even have to look to Japan. The idea, many ideas that we have about, the, I don't know, women, about in the West, about women, about purity, about decency and chastity are all coming because of medieval Christianity and the late empire and the introduction of Christianity during the late empire. So even before that, and the before that, the Romans were the exact opposite. Even here in Italy, if you think about it. I mean, Roman women had a lot of makeup, as my girlfriend showed in her video dedicated to Roman makeup on her channel, Kenzie Scarlett. And then if you see the video that she made on medieval makeup, you will see that it's extremely basic compared to how the Romans decorated their face, their women. And you can see that that's obviously because of medieval Christianity and the idea of what an ideal woman is for a medieval man, from a Christian background, and what an ideal woman would be from the perspective of a non-Christian, Roman. Okay, so that first goes without saying. I mean, there is a huge difference. Although it's interesting that when you look at, Christianity is such a huge umbrella term. But when you look at Catholicism, there is a lot of Rome in Catholicism. And when I say a lot of Rome, I specifically mean a lot of paganism. Look at the robes, the colors, red for the cardinals, then you've got, and that's again, it comes from the Roman purple. And you've got the purple. I think the bishops have got the purple thing, the violet thing that they put here, and that again comes from Rome. The name of the Curia, which is the name of the center of the Catholic Church, that was a Roman name, which was political. It had nothing to do with religion. It's Roman, and it was just taken into it. All the, how oftentimes even the fact that Latin is the language of the church, that comes from Rome, and otherwise it should have been Hebrew, that if you really wanted to keep it, as Christian as possible, as early Christian as possible, rather than Latin. If you look at angels, for example, specifically Catholic angels, particularly the little ones, the little mini angels that look like naked children with little wings, those are they have nothing to do with biblical angels that look nothing like it. The biblical angels look like monsters. They're actually very intriguing. I find them very, very intriguing beings when you read them in Hebrew. But the little angels with the little wings, they are Romans. They're literally Cupid, basically, and in Greek. So and even like do you say incense in English? I think how they have all those incense burning and all of those things, and the statues as well, and all those representation. It's all Roman paganism inside, melted with Christianity, which is basically what Catholicism is. And I don't mean to insult any Catholic, of course. I'm just saying the facts, and I always say the facts. And so that's interesting. A lot has remained from Rome, and you can see those things. It's very, very clear. Animator Alex, thank you for your donations, £5. Hey Meta, you gotta do a reaction to horrible. Oh yeah, you're the one about horrible histories. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I will do. I might. I mean, I don't want to say I will do that and then I don't do it. I should do that. That's what I should say. I should do that, and we'll see if I can. Because now that I want to start making 3 videos a week. I will have a lot of space for many ideas. Okay, so what happened to the chat? Let me see. Oh, there you go. Chris. Would the Catholic saints also be an influence of the previous pagan gods? I'm going to say yes. And all the statuary too, because the Bible says don't make statues, and then we've got loads of statues all over the place. So, yeah, that's definitely coming from Rome, from the Roman heritage, absolutely. And let's see. Do you ever plan on making a Discord server? I know Shad did. I just don't know how to answer that question because I don't know exactly how Discord servers work. So I'll have to find that out and understand how they work exactly and what I'm supposed to do with a Discord server. But yeah, I mean, if it's something that I can do and I think it's beneficial to the community, why not? Let's see. If you could master any melee weapon instantly, which one would you choose? Also, nice Overwatch jacket. Oh yeah, I'm such a sucker for Overwatch. I love Overwatch. Diva player, by the way. And yeah, well, instantly Sword and Shield. Not many treatises about that. I mean, we do have treatises on sword and buckler, but I mean sword and heater. Sword and heater shield. I would love to learn that instantly, like find a manuscript that no one had, and boom, you've got that. That would be great. Let's see what else we've got. Could you make a Discord server for your community? Oh yeah, Nephilim, there you go. Nephilim, such an interesting Hebrew word. Because, yeah, someone said Cupid, exactly, yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Nephilim is an interesting word because in Christianity they're considered to be fallen angels. The thing is that, yes, the word in the Bible, sometimes they're referred to as the giants as well. The word, though, the reason why they say fallen is because it does have to do with the verb to fall. But it's interesting that Nephilah is the constellation of Orion. So, just throwing it out there. Let's see. Let's see. If I remember correctly, let me see. Okay, it's an interesting thing from Marco. If I remember correctly, Catholicism predates the Christian religion. No, it doesn't. And hence the argument between the Roman citizens and Constantine. No. So what the Catholics say, although there is no historical evidence of that, but what the Catholics say is that the Apostle Peter, gave to the first Catholic bishop the key to become the vicar of Christ, which is why the Pope today is also considered a bishop. He's both. He's the first bishop of Rome, and he's also the Pope, and a few other titles. He's also the monarch, of course, of the state of the Vatican. But no, Catholicism began with the apostles. So Christianity in itself begins with Christ. So it's the movement. So Christianity predates Catholicism of a little bit, not many generations really. Hi Metatron, you should review samurai movies and series for historical accuracies. Well, I've been reviewing Age of Samurai. I made 2 videos, so I reviewed 3 episodes. I might review more. We'll see. I think I should make a review of The Last Samurai, because that one is such a classic, such a classic. Let's see. Make a video about how the wire for the male armor was made. I can't find anywhere as to how the wire itself was made. Yeah, that could be interesting. Also because if we look at the historical way of making mail, it's different from the way mail is made today, usually. And maybe it could be interesting to have a look at that, absolutely. And also because, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of Roman mail Roman mail used for historical reenactment made in India, it's actually using a pattern that it's not coherent with the historical evidence, and sometimes they use a pattern that is more coherent with medieval findings than it is with Roman findings. And it's interesting because when we look at Roman mail, and I'm making a video called The Evolution of Roman Armor, in which I will go into details, and it's actually a collaboration with a very, very knowledgeable man, a friend of mine who makes videos in Italian. It's called Europa Antica, the channel. It's in Italian, but it does have English subtitles. We're doing a collaboration on this video on the evolution of Rome. And one of the things that we have discovered that I find to be extremely interesting, and that is my position, even though it's not shared by everyone, but I think we have evidence to back it up, is that late Republican mail had, as you know, the shoulder reinforcement. You know that. And that is a reinforcement because you've got basically the mail shirt, and on top of that, boom, you've got the second umeralia, that's what they're called in Latin, the double shoulder protection, and sometimes they go very further down to your belly, and other times they stand here, depending on what statue you're looking at. Great. But we shouldn't think that all Roman mail used the umeralia as a reinforcement. Sometimes I think we overstate that. And the reason I say that is because if you look at early Roman mail, so early Republican mail, and we don't have much to work with, but what we have shows that in that case, the umeralia, so the shoulders, are not a reinforcement at all. They are a closing and fastening method, just like in Greek armor. Now, I can't prove it 100%, but I do have some very cool iconography. And one of the things that usually people, because I've had this discussion on a Roman Army Talk Facebook page, and with a person that actually disagreed with me and said, no, I think they are not a closing mechanism. And he said, because you wouldn't be able to close it that way, and it just wouldn't work. But then again, I have a friend who actually created an example, and it works. So that goes out the window. It works perfectly because basically, and we can see this, you fix one with a nail, with a rivet, and you close the other one. And it's not a doubling in that case at all. You have basically only one layer of mail. So it's interesting that it became a doubling up. And we can understand the reasons, for the same reasons why they made segmentata, to make the shoulders stronger and more defendable. But it didn't begin like that, and that is very interesting, I think. And I'm gonna make a dedicated video where I will show you the iconography. I will show you this functioning replica that proves a point, and it's going to be interesting because I think it's going to shed light onto a topic that we don't know much about, which is the early republic. And if I could find some, I will speak about the Roman kingdom as well. So that's going to happen. Cronium $2. If you could talk to any historical figure, who and why? Definitely one of the Roman emperors. Probably Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus Augustus, the first emperor. I'm totally talking to him. And the reason, because I'm a fanboy. And having said that, yes, I would do that. You skipped my previous super chat, no biggie. I apologize for that. But let me see if I can see well all the super chats. Let me see. Metatron would be a badass Italian knight. Thank you for that. I appreciate. Yeah, sometimes it's not super easy to get all the super chats, and I really apologize for that. Maybe because I stream from my phone, but I do appreciate your donations. So if I do skip it, I apologize for that, and hopefully there will be a way for me to see them. Red pizza is best, but red pizza is good. Red pizza really is good. Oh, and by the way, if I did skip your super chat, let me know, just like you did. You could super chat $1. You could super chat 1 cent if they allow you, just to tell me. By the way, that was my question. Zarelli, £2, thank you. Can you do a video about the Galloglass soldier? I think they are the Scottish ones, if I'm not... sorry if I am insulting with a incorrect statement. But yeah, if that's what you're talking about, the series that I said that I'm doing about the less known kinds of weapons, armor, soldiers that could fit that could fit into it, absolutely. So that could be good. Sherlock investigates Japan. Roman armor and shields seem like they would give superior protection, and they also have superior stabbing weapons, which samurai armor is not great at protecting from a really good stab. Well, it kind of depends because actually samurai armor does protect you well from stabs, particularly. Well, any kind of samurai armor does protect you from stabs, unless you know where to stab. But that works with any kind of armor, really. Still, yes, stabbing is probably the best thing you can do if you don't have impact weapons. Definitely don't try to cut, try to stab, but not stab through armor. I don't think that's gonna work. Also, because I mean, Roman weapons are great, but unless we are talking about the Scorpio, so machinery, any other kind of Roman weapon is hand powered. And that is what I think one of the main technological advances and differences with the medieval period. Because in the medieval period, already when you start having medieval saddles and stirrups, which they did not have in the Roman period, then when you charge with a spear, even now, much of the strength is it's not powered by your hand like it was the case with Roman cavalry. It's powered by the speed of the horse. And then they invent the lance, and that makes it even better. And then they invent the couched lance that you put underneath here, and that makes it even stronger. And then they make the lance rest that you can use as a shock absorbent, and that makes it even stronger. And so now these weapons have so much power behind them that, yeah, they can go through armor depending on what armor we're talking about. So, for example, if you consider we do have Roman statements of how mail was good, and it was so good, the Lorica Hamata, that even mounted people with spears couldn't pierce it. But remember, this is because they are hand powered. They are trying to poke through it and they can't pierce it. But a medieval knight with a couched lance on a lance rest is going to go through any mail armor you put in front of him. And it won't go through high quality plate. It might go through soft iron. We don't know. And it might still not go through your helmet, but it could break your jaw anyways if it hits you in the face. So, that's, I think, one of the things. And it doesn't only apply to lances, so horse-powered shock weapons, but even like very powerful crossbows. Yes, the Romans had crossbows, but they weren't as powerful as the late medieval ones. And yes, the Romans had bows, but they weren't as powerful as late medieval Mary Rose longbows. So, there is that. Question: do I read manga? Leggi manga? I used to read manga, now I don't as much, but thank you. Berserk. Yeah, I don't know. It's not, manga is not really what I do anymore. I used to read a lot of manga, but now. Phoenix 96, $5. Thank you. Buonasera, fratello. Buonasera. In Italy, are there any historical accurate media film that portray Romulus, Aeneas, other Roman heroic figures positively? Well, Romulus, generally speaking, is represented, I think, positively. I need still to watch, and even Aeneas, maybe. I still need to watch Romulus, the actual TV series made in Italy. They made I don't know if it's a film or a TV series. I think it's a TV series. And it's interesting because on that TV series, I'm told that they tried to recreate archaic Latin, which is even older than classical Latin, which is the Latin that you heard me speak on my latest upload. So classical Latin, usually we're speaking about from the 1st century BC, so the times of Julius Caesar, the conquest of Gaul, all the way up to the 2nd century AD, so 300 years. Archaic Latin is before that, and that's the Latin they tried to reconstruct, which is a monumental work, because with classical Latin we have a lot of stuff to work with, but with archaic Latin, which is older, we don't have as much. But they did, apparently, so I should definitely check it out. Thank you for your super chat. Heaven Athema, $2. Thank you. Are you getting a new sword with your armor? No, I'm happy with my arming sword, so I'm not planning on a new sword, but I'm planning on a scabbard for said sword, and a proper suspension system for the belt. So not the frog. The frog system is not historical. It's good for LARP. I want to have the proper suspension, like historically accurate suspension, and the scabbards can be as expensive as swords, to be honest. So I'll have to see. But yeah, probably with Patreon money, I'll get a scabbard. And but yeah, not a new sword really. No. Pineapple is my favorite fruit. Bene, good. Where can I buy a katana? Asks Alonso. Okay, well, Swords of Northshire is a good place, but they are made in China, so, as long as you know that. I think they make good katana and they're custom made. And both me and Matt Easton work with them. Can't really, of the, you know, out just out of the blue, I can't think of any other place as of now. J'adore tes vidéos. Thank you so much, Rax. I'm glad you like my videos. A Canon video sur whatever it's pronounced, during the Battle of Alasia. Yes, I should totally make a video on the Battle of Alasia. I've been saying that I would. It's been over a year. I should do it. Thank you, Adrian Bonia, for your donation. Differences between the Gladius and Sparta. Well, I do have a dedicated video. It's a little of an older video, so maybe not as packed with details as more recent uploads, but I do have a video, so if you check out Metatron Gladius versus Sparta, you'll find it. But generally speaking, yeah, the Sparta is longer, or Sparta, if you want to go the Latin way, because in English it's Sparta, but in Latin it's Sparta, probably. So yeah, definitely longer for a different kind of combat. I think Sparta could have been better also for cavalry, if you think about it, because a Gladius for cavalry, it's not. I mean, yeah, you can use it, you can make it work, but not a very good choice. And yeah, for more details, I have a dedicated video. And I have another super chat from Marcelo Gonzalez. Thank you for your donation. What should be done with people who put pineapple on pizza? Crucifixion or worse? I'll let Dracula choose. What's his name? The guy, the Impaler, Vlad the Impaler. I'll let him choose. Oh yeah, there you go, Lorsica, €2. Thank you. Skipped my €10 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for that. I'm really sorry, but thank you for your donation. I will use your €10 for the channel, and then I will use these extra €2 to get a coffee tomorrow. Macchiato, caffè macchiato with a bit of milk. Rod, undefined Rod, $50. Thank you. Well, that's a big donation. I appreciate. Can we watch you armor up in real time with your new fancy plate, or do you require a squire there with you? I do require a squire, unfortunately. Although, I'll tell you, I like challenges, and I'm thinking of trying to film a video where I try and put on my entire full plate on my own. It's gonna take me forever. It's gonna be absolutely not historical. But is it doable? Well, most people say no. They say it's impossible. And I've been saying it's impossible for a while. But I have tried to put on, struggled a bit, my breastplate and backplate, and I did. I managed. And it was well fastened. So can I do it with a fold? Can I do it with the pauldrons? Can I frigging point my arms on my own? I think I can. I've been thinking about it. One of the reasons why I think I can is because I'm very, I can turn around stuff. I can do this in the back of my body, and I think I can use that. So if you see that video, know that I went full nuts and I did it. So we'll see. But yeah, armoring up right now, normally I would require a squire and would take a very long time. So yeah, plus my armor right now is mounted on the mannequin. I'm gonna show you though. I'm gonna show you the armor in a moment, so you can see how I mount it. I just want to double check that. There you go. Strahina Draculic, thank you for your donation. Can you sing us La Leggenda di Colapesce? I'm sorry, I don't know it. I am afraid I don't. I can't. I still appreciate your donation very much, and I don't know what that is. So actually, I might check it out. If it's something you want me to look at. Stevo Devil, $10. Thank you. Awesome to catch a live stream with the Metatron. My pleasure to have you here. We've got 383 people. Have a good day, noble ones. Thank you. See, what a polite man or woman. I don't know. What a polite person. 20 DKK. Is that from Denmark? I don't know. Are you learning a Scandinavian language? I'm not, but I would love to. In fact, if I should learn a Scandinavian language, which one should it be? Icelandic? Is Icelandic considered Scandinavian? It should. Maybe Icelandic would be cool. If it's not Icelandic, I'd go for Swedish. If it's not Swedish, I'd go for Norwegian or Finnish. Yeah, or Danish. I mean, the Danes are the frigging Vikings. Not only the Danes are Vikings, but the reason why I'm saying it that way is because it's funny how early Anglo-Saxons would call everyone coming from Scandinavia were Danes. They didn't care. Even people from like Norwegian areas, they were like, "Oh, the Danes are here." It must have pissed them off. Can you imagine that? But yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll have to choose one eventually. So another donation, $5. Thank you. Have you heard from Ferail Third? Ferail Third. Have you heard of Let's Ask Shogo on YouTube? I haven't. Really seems like you guys might make a good collab on Japanese history language if you were so inclined. Thank you. So today I've got two, the Raven Knight and this Let's Ask Shogo to to check out. I'm definitely doing that. Thank you so much. Again, I'm asked what languages do you speak. I am making a video to answer that question, so I'm not gonna spoil it here. And let me show you. I hope I haven't forgotten any other super chat. I hope. And thank you again for everyone who has donated. And if I haven't mentioned you, I apologize, but I thank you. I thank you all. And I want to show you my armor now. So let me see how much battery I've got left. Oh yeah, plenty. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. I remembered. Will you look at that? I remembered to charge my phone. Okay, so this is my mannequin. And that's where the armor is. As you can see, it's absolute beauty. I have pinned and pointed the arms on my arming doublet, because on the mannequin I have the arming doublet, as you can see. I don't know, can you hear me when I'm so far away from the phone? I have no idea. And then I've got my shoulders, the pauldrons, and the breastplate and backplate. Check out the back. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous work. Such a piece of quality. And the fold is actually on the floor. The fold is here, as you can see, because it's very difficult to put the fold on the mannequin, because it's freaking heavy. And on my own, I need someone to help me do that. So there is that. How about we stand up a little bit so I don't, I hope I'm not too shaky. But yeah, so that's for the plate. And just here to say hello. Hello, good luck. High five. Good luck. Everyone, do you have any Greek armor? I don't. I actually found on Facebook a guy who was making historically accurate Greek armor, and it looked so good. And I'm like, I actually contacted him and I said, hey, that armor is incredible. Do you sell it? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm selling it. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. How much do you want? And he was like, oh, just about 1,500. And I'm like, you know what? That's a bit too much. That's a bit too much, because with 1,500 euros, I could buy another breastplate, backplate, and fold combination from Craftsmen of Taurica. And so I'd rather continue on my medieval impression before I start a Greek one. Then once that one is done, maybe we'll have to see. And there is a new super chat. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I'm getting I'm getting so many super chats and so many good questions and so many good ideas that I'm amazed. Thank you so much. So Twig from Ireland, €5. Thank you. Do you know any of any signed language? I did 2 years of a 4-year degree in Irish Sign Language interpreting and really want to go back to it. Well, you should, particularly if you appreciated it. I think sign language is such a noble endeavor to learn to communicate with people that need that, because of course they're deaf. And no, I don't know any sign language, although of course I'm Italian, so I naturally move my hands. So I suppose, I might transfer some of that skill to any sign language that I could learn. I wonder if the Italian sign language has more movement of hand. I don't know, you are the expert, so you let me know You tell me, but it would be really interesting if, while you're doing your sign language in Italian, you also occasionally have to do this, to keep it real, to keep it, to make sure they understand who's speaking. Are those corners sharp in your armor? No, there is nothing sharp. Everything is rolled. And if by corners you meant the sword breakers, they are not. So they would still, but yeah, they're very protective. These as well, not. Look how glittery this armor is. Look how glittery this armor is. And I personally love the leather strap here. It's so Italian. I know some people don't like it. And funny enough, people actually ask me, they're like, but couldn't you just cut that, the leather strap that keeps your fold in place during combat, and then the fold falls on the ground and the knight now is exposed? No. Let me tell you why. First, that's not the only one you have. Let me show you. So a fold, an Italian fold, let me see if I can pick up the fold. I did. There you go. So an Italian fold has got a leather strap in the front. Where is it? Yeah, I need to actually show you yeah, I shouldn't show you the fold anyways. The breastplate has a leather strap in the front, and there is a leather strap in the back. So even if the attachment for the fold is compromised in the front, you have another attachment in the back that I'm going to show you. There you go. That it's still going to keep it there. So you're not going to lose the fold just because someone cuts the leather strap. They would have to cut two leather straps. And believe me, it's not easy. And when I say that it's not easy, first, it's not easy because, Italians used it for over a century. It means it worked. That's the first thing already. Kind of deductive logic. But even out of experience, I can tell you, I made a video a long time ago. It's a destructive test where I destroy a brigandine, not obviously the very nice one I have here, a cheap brigandine that was given to me, and I literally destroy it. Like, I destroy that brigandine. And the brigandine had some leather straps in the front. And I'm like, you know what? I've got a sharp weapon, I've got a sharp knife. I'm going to try and cut those leather straps. To cut one, I had to hit it 7 times. And the guy was not moving because the guy was a mannequin. Imagine, in the middle of combat, a knight on top of a horse. Good luck hitting the leather strap. Probably more than 7 times. But anyways, let's say 7 times. You would have to have such a perfect strike to cut it in one go, and I still think it's not gonna happen. So yes, of course, it's more vulnerable than a Gothic placard attached to the breastplate by a rivet, but it's still not that easy to take care of. It's really difficult. And again, I say, when I went on that brigandine, I received it by the maker, and they told me, you need to destroy this. So I was like, okay, great. I got something for free and I need to destroy it, so I'm going with no mercy. 7 times to cut the frigging strap. I cut it eventually, but as I say, it wasn't moving and it definitely wasn't trying to strike back. So if I'm fighting someone in armor, I'm not going to try and cut the frigging leather strap. I'm trying to find the gaps in the armor. I'm trying to put him on the ground. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't kill me. So that's my opinion on the leather strap. I hope it helps. Okay, so let's see. We've got a few other things. Tonight after this, I'm gonna watch some Suits on Netflix, such a good series. And then I'm gonna play. I've recently finished Little Nightmares 2. Tonight, I wanna play Death Stranding. Do I like that game? I don't know. I'll let you know because I've been playing it and I still don't know if I hate it or I love it. And so I will let you know. So far, it's like mixed feelings. Sometimes I like it and sometimes I'm like, I play for 15 minutes and then I need to watch 35 minutes video. But, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting experience. So tonight I'm playing that. Death Stranding. Asked earlier, Samurai James, thank you for your donation, any Washington, D.C., USA travel plans? I hope so, because I've got a very good friend in Washington, D.C., actually, and we met at the Met, meaning Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And he has told me like you need to come visit me and whatnot. So hopefully, I mean, I need to first make sure that I can go to America. And right now there's a travel ban, and particularly because I'm in the Schengen area, so in Europe, in the Schengen area, I'm not allowed into the United States of America. But once that is lifted, and in my opinion, they're gonna, I think, I hope, and I think they're gonna restart travel and tourism between Europe and America in summer and hopefully in June. When that happens, I will first go to Tennessee, but then I am, with my girlfriend. She has never been to New York. I have, and she wanted to see New York, and I'm like, hey, we should go to New York, and then who knows, one day, why not? Because I'll tell you one thing. One thing I want to do is before I die, I want to have been to every single American state, and so far I've been to I've been to New York, obviously. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Alabama. And I've been to where is Atlanta? Well, I've been to Atlanta. I know that's not a state, but there are still quite a few. If they let me in June, I would like to go to Florida. I still don't know if I can do that, and and then we'll see. We'll go to Utah. We'll go to. I'd like to go to Maine because I know a guy in Maine. His name is Brent, and he has a miniatures YouTube channel, very successful actually, and. And the guy's in Maine and he plays Warhammer. And we said, eventually I'm going to go play with this guy. I've got to play with this guy. By the way, my video on my Warhammer miniatures? Since that video, I've received more. I've received more elves. So now I have more high elves, more archers. I think they're 6th edition. I'm going to show you. So on the video, I showed my 4th edition archers, high elves, and then I received these a couple of days ago, and they are, I think, 6th edition elves, if I'm not wrong, and I'm very happy with them, and I can't wait to fight to use them for an 8th edition game. So that's going to be fun. Don't come to Maryland, Raf. I don't know why. Ohio, says Sherlock Investigation. So hello. Well, morning, really. Atlanta, Georgia. That's it. It's Georgia. Yeah, I need to brush up on my geography in my American states geography. I know that California is in the west. Florida is in the east. Obviously, New York is in the east, in the north. I need to go to Boston because Boston accent really makes me laugh in a good way. I love Boston accent, and it's kind of funny because my girlfriend was like, "I hate Boston accent." I'm like, I understand why you hate it, but I love it. I love it. I can't even do it, but it's so interesting. It's interesting when they're like, I don't know, close the door. What you're waiting for? They have this like it's very open. I don't know. I love it. I probably butchered it now, and in general, I really like all American accents. I like all British accents as well, but like American accents, it's interesting because sometimes in the media, I used to know every kind of UK accent. Like you tell me, I hear an accent, I can tell if he's from London, if he's from Birmingham, if he's from whatever, Liverpool, Manchester. Like I can tell accents apart. Broomy accent and whatnot. Northeast, New Jersey. No, not New Jersey. Sorry, Newcastle and the Geordie accent and all those things. But York. But with American accents, I was always used to the general American. But in the last few years, I've been exposed to many different American accents that I actually started to get interested in it. I'm like, wow, so that's how they pronounce things in the, well, not like when I say New York accent, I'm speaking about the accent that not many New Yorkers speak anymore. Like the young people now, I think they're turning towards general American, but the sort of New York accent where they don't say, like, I would say sausage. I think in general American sounds more like sausage. But in New York, with a typical New York accent, it kind of sounds like sausage. They have this "oa" sound, and it fascinates me. I'm like, wow, they speak like that. Some people, and or like instead of saying "mum," I heard people saying like "ma'am" or something like that. I can't really do it. And then I heard the Tennessee accent because my girlfriend is from Tennessee, or Alabama accent as well, and it's so different. Like the first time I heard someone saying French fries instead of French fries, I was like, Do what? So yeah, that happened. But I love it. I love it. I have a passion for accents. So whenever I hear an accent, I'm like so intrigued. And so I'm interesting. I'm like, well, I want to hear a North Dakota accent. I want to hear I've heard Utah accent because I know I've got friends from Utah. Typical California accent, with that it has like kind of a melody that you can tell it's a California accent and all that stuff. So it's fascinating, fascinating. Talking about North and South, have you ever played North and South, the actual video game? They made a remake. I used to play it for Amiga, Commodore Amiga, when I was like 13. They recently made a new version it's about like the American Civil War, and which I would love to reenact, by the way. And it's good. It's on PlayStation Network. It's such a fun game. North and South, really funny. I like it. I always play it with my friend. It's a good one. Okay, so let me double check. The US is a melting pot. Well, it definitely is. That would be fun. There's so many good things to learn in life. Like really, so many fun things to learn. There you go. Let's see. Any opinions on the EU? European Union. Well, I don't really have an opinion per se because I'm not into politics. I worked for the EU, so there is that. They gave me some money, so I appreciate that. When I was a language expert, and they were sending some budget through the university and research funds for the university and research, and this budget was specifically aimed and sent to southern Italy to pay for language experts so that we could in high schools and places like that and prepare specific courses. And so I was selected. I sent my CV. I was selected 8 or 9 times actually, and so I got that job. And so I was like traveling, teaching as a language expert, and so that's good. That's a good experience I had. And apart from that, the unification of Europe, meaning when we started using euro. Well, I remember that. I was probably 17 when we were still using the Italian lira, so the currency that we had before euro. And I remember it how like a sandwich cost 20,000 lira. And that because lira was like that, everyone was a millionaire, like not in reality, but you know what I mean. A regular job would be like 4 million to 2 million lira, 1 million lira, 1,500,000 lira, but it wasn't, it wasn't that much. But I remember, because as I say, you buy a soda can and it cost like 1,000 lira, and now it's a euro. But it's funny because it felt like we had more money. Like honestly, the spending power of the independent currency that we had when we didn't have the euro, uh, yeah, we had more money. It's like with the euro, things became more expensive. Although, as someone who travels a lot or used to travel a lot before COVID, it was an advantage for me the fact that I can use the euro anywhere I go within Europe, including freaking Ireland. So I can go to Ireland and I don't have to change currency, which means that's good. It's advantageous because beforehand the uh, currency was a lot stronger than Italian currency. So if I had Italian money and I wanted to go to Germany, I would lose in spending power, but now I don't. So EU, the unification in terms of money is good for people who travel. It wasn't particularly good for the old grandma who was never going to leave Italy. And there is that. Born in 85, born in 82, my friend. That's why I had to go through conscription, because in 82 was the last year that Italian males had to serve in the army or the navy or the air force. And being born in 82, I was one of the last to go. So there is that. That happened. So it's been 1 hour and 55 minutes. This is going to be like my longest, but it's fun. And I'm going to stream for another 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So we'll call it a day at 2 hours. That's what we're going to do. But thank you so much, everyone, for staying here, for supporting me. And thank you for the super chats as well. You've been extremely generous, and that's very much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Zen Guru, I turned 30 in June '08. I'm in a state of transformation, and I lived always in solitude. Forgive the burst. Well, living in solitude is not bad. Oh, there you go. For a moment, I had a little disconnection, and let's see. Do you think there is any warrior, general, or world leader in history that had ever been as strong as Peppa Pig? No, no one. Peppa Pig should be a Roman emperor if Rome was still around. So yeah. So time, there you go. Let me see a few more. Why are you Italian? Good question. Good question, my friend. Oh my gosh, Italy's currency was called lira. Yes, here in Turkey, it's also lira. Well, there you go. Yeah, I remember that Turkish lira, and I remember thinking, oh, we have the same for Syria. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was lira, lira, and then in plural in Italian it would become lire because it's actually here is something I need to teach you. Very important. So if you don't take anything from this video, don't forget this: singular pizza, plural pizze. Thank you. Spelled with an E at the end. Pizze. And you'll be like, yeah, but why are you saying that? Well, I see a lot of people complaining when you say gladius, right? The sword. And then if you say gladiuses, people are like, it's gladi. You don't even know that the plural is gladi in Latin. And I'm like, yeah. And so is the plural of pizza. It's pizze. No one says pizzas. So, yeah. Particularly those who are like all about we need to keep the plural. It's gladi, not gladius. It's pila, not pilum. Scuta, not and scutum scuta, not scutums. Great. Then say pizze. Thank you. I ate one pizza. You ate two pizze. Splendid. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we've got 5 more minutes. Let's see what questions we've got for these last 5 minutes of fire. And we've got a donation. Thank you. $2 from Vanik Black Rose. You forgot my super chat about the sea people. Okay, thank you. I don't know how to see it. Sea people, sea people. Okay, so I'm not sure which one it was. I don't think I've seen it. And when you say sea people, let me see if I can find it. When you see sea people, I'm thinking, are you talking about the Mediterranean Sea? Are you talking about the Balkans? I wonder which one you're talking about. I actually don't know if there is a way for me to find it. So, Vanik, I'll look for your name. If you can right now, just chat normally. You don't have to do it super chat and tell me exactly what you meant because I don't seem to be able to find that super chat at the moment. I'll have to get better at finding super chat. I need to have like a little clock reminding me that I need to see because sometimes I don't see them. So yeah, please let me know exactly what you meant, and I'll be more than happy to answer if I know. Oh, Bronze Age. Okay, so you're saying Bronze Age sea people. Well, the Bronze Age, it's a gigantic. The sea people that attacked Egypt. Okay, so it's not really my area of expertise, so it's not one of those things that I can just say right off the bat without preparing first, like I did, for example, for the fold and how it works and that kind of stuff. But the Bronze Age is something that I want to look into more deeply because, as you know, my channel, I mostly talk about the classical period. But I think the Iron Age and the Bronze Age, I have occasionally spoken about it, but I think they're so interesting that it would be great to do that and maybe speak about the Phoenicians, for example, and other people like that. So it's definitely something I'm going to look into. It's not something that I can just right off the bat tell you what I think. But I'll see what I can do. I'll do some research. Also, because personally, I like, generally speaking, saying things that I studied. And you say no such thing as Byzantine Empire, says Velasarius. It's always Eastern Roman Empire. At least I prefer it this way. Yeah, no, I understand. Although again, I kind of like the word Byzantine because it kind of tells you something that I think many people forget. So, modern day Istanbul is what was Constantinople, right? That was its previous name. Now, Constantinople was built over the vestiges of the city Byzantium. So that's why, even though that wasn't the name used for the city when it became the Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire. Um, so in theory, it would be better to say the Constantine Empire, but it's called Byzantine because in the adjective form you are preserving the actual past of the city, the heritage, and you do it. You can see Byzantine weapons, for example, and Byzantine armor. So you use it as an adjective, and it's cool because this city, it's interesting that it's like Byzantium, Constantinople, Istanbul, and so I like using that term because it reminds you of the past, of what was there before. So that's an interesting one as well. Where do you get those cool mini soldiers in the background? That's Warhammer Fantasy, but they are very old miniatures, so most of them are out of production. It doesn't mean that you can't find them though, particularly if you look for them in Warhammer markets on Facebook or secondhand, or for example Amazon, eBay. They tend to be pricey though because they are out of production now. Some of these have been with me since I was a teenager, and I just kept them. Uh, but as you know, I've recently bought those archers, and I bought them on one of these markets because someone was getting rid of them. Okay, so I think we're getting close to the end. Someone says how to donate. You can donate through Super Chat. I think it's connected. I don't know. I've never done it. I think it's connected. You can connect it through to a credit card or something. I am not 100% sure how it works. Maybe someone in the comments can let you know. Otherwise, Patreon. You can look me up on Patreon, for Metatron, and I post 4 times a month. In fact, I've already posted twice this month, on the 7th and on the, it should be the 14th, but I did it on the 15th. I was one day late. I'm always Southern Italian, so I'm late. The next upload is going to be on the 21st. And love you, Metatron. Thank you so much. Hello, 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 hello. Why don't you play Sekiro Ghost of Tsushima on this channel anymore? I played it, I don't know, I made a couple of videos on it, and then I kind of stopped playing it because I'm not a huge fan of Souls game, the only exception being Dark Souls. So I think that's the reason. I played it a bit, and then I'm like, yeah, that's it. I don't think I'm going to play it again, but we'll see. I might, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, I miss that game, and then I rebuy it. Have you ever done it? Because I do. I do it. Like I buy a game, I sell it, and then I rebuy it after a year because I'm like, I have memories and I want to play it. Really funny. But anyways, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, noble ones. We have just hit 2 hours, and I've got one last, I suppose, super chat from Judoka Dude. So thank you for your second super chat, £5. Where you get your Roman miniatures from? They are called Hail Caesar miniatures, and you can find them on. I bought them on Amazon. No, on eBay. You can find them eBay, Amazon, but also I think there is an actual site. So yeah, and there are also Caesar miniatures, I think, but the ones I have are Hail Caesar miniatures, and it's a game actually. I've just never played it. But will you ever cut your hair and shave your beard? Shave my beard, yeah, eventually. Cut my hair, maybe. I might trim it a little bit, but I kind of like the long hair look for now. Maybe I will cut it in the future, I have no idea. For now, I like keeping it long. Old style Metatron is back, if you will. And thank you. Thank you so much for... Oh, I need to answer this last one. I have to. Is it true that you Sicilians always use the passato remoto, so the past, the extreme past tense? Yes, it's true. Yes, we do. Not always, because the younger generation now started to use the passato prossimo, like standard Italian, but my mom, passato remoto, all the time, always. So yeah, very true. It's a very Sicilian thing. I think it's linked to our dialect. That's where we get it from. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna stop reading the chat for now, but I thank everyone for the super chats, and that money will be put to good use, and I will get some proper gear with it. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching my videos. I will see you on Wednesday for the next upload, so look forward to that. It's going to be great. Thank you so much. Walete, saraba, sayonara, arrivederci, and thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Ciao ciao.